Okay, so hi everybody, my name is Philipp. I'm the co-founder of Climatiq. We are a solution that provides embedded carbon intelligence. What that means is that we mostly work with product managers and developers. Our observation or our product is that developers use us to embed or build sustainability capabilities into their own product with our stack and our tool set. So we're not, a bit like, not like Mtwise or others, we're not a carbon accounting solution. We only build a backend. We don't have a front end, so we're a headless solution. And as such, we have like a modular approach, if you like, of different modules that you can integrate and build your own solution on top. It's very much a tech play. We do this because, according to our observation, is that developers struggle really to develop carbon solutions at the minute, and that's because most of the tech stack, the way we see it, is missing. So companies in particular that do carbon accounting and carbon reporting currently do this manually. It's mostly an Excel operation, and some use some software, but by and large, it's manually collecting the data, manually cleaning it. And if you figure that out, the climate science is complex. It's actually, you have to make a lot of judgment calls for this. You don't necessarily know what data to use in what region, and it's not always clear, especially if you want your report to be audit-proof. And lastly, even if you solve all this, progress is somewhat slow, right? You're operating in a silo, data is not necessarily interoperable, and it's hard to scale. So that's what we are looking at to fix. So you see on the right here is our stack, the way we look at this. So we have an underlying database of scientific data, mostly emission factors, some product carbon footprints, and then we make this available in an API. And between that, we highlight we do a lot of computation. So we do a lot of abstraction work to take real-life data, consumption data, and automatically map it against these emission factors to then automatically calculate the carbon emissions as they happen in real time. We make that stack available to anyone who wants to use it. So a number of different solutions. I'll show you a few in a minute. And it's really kind of like an emission science as a service solution built on a scalable infrastructure. So the way we look at this, and I said this earlier, is that in our view, most companies today do carbon accounting manually. So the consultants are as busy as they've ever been, and it costs quite a lot of money. It takes about 6 months to complete a single report. So you take 6 months, do a lot of reporting. At the end, you get a report, then you get a breather, and then you start with the next report. And in our view, that doesn't really drive decarbonization. And so there's a lot of platforms now evolving that are really a separate tool where you can track your progress against net zero. And I think that works for a number of use cases, but for some, especially large and very complex organizations, you want the carbon metrics be embedded in software that you use every day. So, for example, SAP, Salesforce, any CRM system, office management, fleet management, etc. So where you make your decisions, you see not just cost, not just value, but you also see the emissions that this is causing. And that's what we mean by embedded carbon intelligence. We have a couple of use cases that how this works in practice. So we've done an integration with Celonis. Some of you are familiar with them. We're building sort of the carbon module in their system to help executives make these better decisions. We've also done an integration with Stripe for one of the launch partners for their marketplace to show merchants what the product carbon footprint is of the products that they're selling. So that's sort of the solution. As a company, we've been around for 1.5 years, 2 years almost. We have a pre-seed funding and a seed funding, so we're not necessarily raising money right now. These are some of the customers we work with. So we are currently scaling up the company with more and more enterprise use cases. This is the team. So most of the team, as I said, we don't have a front end, so we don't do consulting, we don't do sales. You see most of the people there work on climate science or engineering. So Mariam and Anastasia, for example, have both 6 years of postdoc at MIT and the Potsdam Institute for Climate Impact Research. Pat used to be at The Guardian, head of product at The Guardian, a fairly senior team, and us, the 3 founders. And we're backed by a pretty large now scientific advisory board. There's literally some of the people are the who's who in this world. So Mike Berners-Lee, he's actually the brother of Tim Berners-Lee, which I kind of like, and he's one of the gurus in carbon accounting. In the UK, we have John Schellnhuber, who's the founder of the Potsdam Institute for Climate Impact Research, as well as some others, Bob Armstrong, head of MIT Energy. And they're kind of making sure that we really apply scientific rigor to what we do. So that's it. If you have any questions, I'll answer them.
We have 5 minutes left, so does anybody have any questions? From a commercial perspective, how do the integrations work in terms of what you're doing? So
we mainly sell an API, and it's either, the API can be, from a commercial perspective, is either consumption-driven, so essentially per API call, or flat fee, or a combination of the two. When I say flat fee, it's like a monthly or annual subscription.
And have there been any challenges to your go-to-market or anything else?
Well, there's always challenges, right?
Yeah.
Every startup.
What?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes I think the way we see the world is that we think enterprises in particular are going to build more and more of the solutions in-house. But a lot of people are figuring this stuff out now. So if you talk to people at an enterprise level, almost everybody's new in this role. Like everybody starts out, often people this is their second or third job inside the company. They're reading GHG protocol and they're figuring it out. So what they really need is consultants. And so they go to Ernst & Young, any of the big four, I think they're really, really busy. And they're not yet all thinking about automating all this. Companies who've been doing this for a while do. So we're pretty confident that this will happen. We also see it in terms of, we sell a lot to SaaS companies and SaaS solutions, and they see this from their customers and they want to automate it, so this is working well. But it's still quite early in the market.
So what's the competitive environment for you like?
It's just a different positioning. I think if you want to build a solution, that's tailored to you, specific to you, we can accelerate that. If you want an off-the-shelf solution that guides you with a lot of things, then we're not the right fit.
Great. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you.
No more questions? Great. Thanks so much.